So basically, what this episode 6 of Chilling in My 30s, after getting fired from the Demon King, one thing I definitely do want to address basically with this episode of episode 6 is I felt like this episode was kind of rushed. That's what it kind of really felt like to me because like when he was like getting around and basically like saying like he wanted to marry the girl that was basically in his image. She's one of my favorites right now in the anime, but she's really not like waifu material to me and stuff like that. Even though that's just, I'm just saying. But don't get me wrong, because the girl she likes the MC and the MC he likes her, and so they end up having a child. They have a son named Gran or something like that, and that's basically what it feels to me. But one other thing I definitely do want to talk about because it basically has to do with the Demon Lord, and it seems to me that the Demon Lord does not want to bring him back, or maybe they want him to bring him back because he's one of the four generals of the Demon King's army, and so he's that. But even though the father was not too very happy, was not too very pleased because basically what happened because he got fired and stuff like that because they didn't need him or anything like that. Now, one thing I definitely do want to mention also too, because I think this is probably is going to happen, but however, I really do not want to see this happen. I really do believe that the MC may get kicked out of the village, and what I mean by it is that like if the Demon King's soldiers or somebody were to come around, or one of the generals were to come around and say you need to go back, to help us, go back to help us out. Because that's likely of a very good possibility that really could turn out to be that way and stuff like that. Because one thing I also want to think also about too, because even though basically his wife, or I would say his or girlfriend, whatever it maybe is, or it's his wife, is that if she were to find out that he was basically was being recruited into the Demon King's army and stuff like that, and he served under the Demon King and stuff like that. Now, one thing I definitely do want to say is also too, because this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion. I don't see the Demon King really being a bad person. I really don't, because you have the son who's basically now is the ruler basically of his kingdom, and basically the father who retired from being the Demon King is that one thing I really did not like about, because basically what the father did, punch his son in the face and stuff like that. Why would you want to do stuff like that in the first place? It seems to me that the Demon King's father is not very happy with his son because he's leading kind of like disappointment and stuff like that. They need to bring him back to the Demon King, even though basically as for the FC, he's married, he's in a relationship, he has a child, he's the mayor of the city. He's the mayor of the city, and I generally think I just don't see him really going back. If they were to maybe like force him to go back or something like that, or anything like that. So I don't know why that the MC is so important based to the Demon King's army and stuff like that. One thing I also do want to mention as well too, because I'm not really actually 100% sure if this really was said or not. I do believe like maybe there's some of the episodes that did address that, like how did he got recruited into the Demon King's army and stuff. Because even though he's just basically human, and he may not even understand some of the demons and stuff like that basically going on around there and stuff. That's what basically it feels to me. Because when you see a horde of demons basically coming to the village or anything like that, basically under the possession of the Demon King, it kind of really spells out like what's going to happen and what could happen and stuff like that. Because since that he was an ex general to the Demon King's army, and I'm very 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 worried that the whole entire village may get burned down and may be destroyed because like what if they were to say like they kidnap the guy and just basically say like you're going to serve whether you like it or not. But however, if he was forced to serve under the Demon King, they can really do that, or they just basically just like maybe just make him a prisoner just to be locked up in a dungeon and basically like you must obey us, this and that. But what if he doesn't want to? What if he doesn't want to? Because what if like the Demon King were to say like, yeah, say like, yeah, okay, so since you don't want to, guess what? We're going to destroy your village, and that's what we're going to do. That's what we are going to do. Because if that were basically to happen, that's going to push him into a greater concern, not only for himself, because also in the village also as well too. And you have to realize like you have to realize that basically to me in my own opinion I don't think he's not doing anything wrong, but I do think that the MC is going to face some backlash because he was basically with the Demon King's army and stuff like that. Because I really do believe that really is a very good possibility if that were to happen. But however, I'll be quite shocked that it didn't happen. So I mean, I don't want to see nothing bad happen to the MC because I mean, I don't want to. I really don't want to see it because if they, like I said, if that were to happen, then yes, there must be a greater chance. Like he's putting the village at risk because he's with the demon because he used to be with the Demon King, and basically all it takes to him that could possibly some of the people in the village could die. Maybe the girl as well too, his wife, and even his son, and basically his stepdad and something like that. I mean, he's putting the whole entire village in the palm of his hand, and basically, and he needs to do something, and he needs to do something about this because if he doesn't, it's going to turn out very, very ugly, and that's one of my biggest fears, basically, coming from this anime. But I really am kind of curious about like how is this going to be handled? That's one thing I'm really kind of curious about, but I really don't know. But I still don't like the fact that basically of this episode 6, is that basically that the MC has to make a choice, even though he has to, and he needs to make a bold choice. But I just want people just to understand, just understand, he's not doing this on purpose, and he really is not. Because like I said before, if the wife would have heard about what happened, she could break up with the man. But even though I really don't see that really happening, but that can lead others to greater concerns and stuff. So I'm really kind of curious, like how this is really going to handle, because that's one thing. That's one thing I'm kind of worried about. But even though basically I was trying to say here is that basically I felt like this episode was rushed a little bit, not really too much, but I just did not like really the fact it's just like they got married just like that, basically in episode 6 and something like that. And basically that's what basically it feels to me. And I feel like they did a time skip and stuff like that. That's something I really don't like. I do like time skips. Sometimes they really matter, but sometimes they really don't. But I think the time skip just did not really matter at all. And I was thinking like maybe there's a very good possibility or something like that, because when we saw like these new people who were coming into town, there happened to be heroes and stuff like that. And I'm really kind of wondering, like, do they know him or something like that, or maybe they don't know him or anything like that. So we really don't know. Now, one thing I definitely want to talk about is the MC's son, which is basically his kid. He's only still a baby and stuff like that. And one thing I definitely do want to say here also as well too, I really am kind of concerned because like if the father were to die, or the mother, whatever maybe is, that could be a very good possibility when he gets old enough. That could be really something that he could maybe offer some help to the Demon King. I don't know. I know that sounds to me that's far fetched. That's just basically what I definitely do think, and stuff. And I mean, there's just so much I really don't know. Now, there's one other thing. I know this is kind of too early to basically be talking about this, but one thing I definitely want to say also too, there's a likely very good possibility we could see a season 2. However, we don't know if that really is going to happen or not. So, I mean, that could happen, but that may not could happen. So, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. But even though I like this anime, and I really do, I'm just worried about what's the end is going to be like for this anime, and like how the MC is going to handle these situations, like if they were to recruit him again, and like what's going to happen to his kid, to his son and his wife. Like, what if they were to find out? Like I said, what if they were to find out because that he used to be a worker or a general general there at the Demon King's army. So I mean, that's what it basically feels to me. And so yeah, and I didn't like the fact because the Demon King's father, he used to be Demon King, just punch his father, not punch his father, punch his son in the face and saying like it's his fault because of what's basically is going on. It's really not his fault because, well, I would say partial. It is basically it's his fault because he was the one who fired him in the first place. Because even though I definitely do understand now that the father was just not too very happy because he made that rash decision and stuff like that. So now they're saying like they need to bring him back. But the question is, why do they need to bring him back in the first place? And it's still that question to me is that like how did he get recruited into the army? I mean, not like the military and stuff like that. How did he get recruited into the Demon Kid's army? That's what basically I think. I don't know or anything like that. I mean, I really don't. I just really don't know. I don't know what's going to happen or how it's just really going to happen. But there's just so many different things, that this anime can turn out to be good. It could turn out to be bad. But there's just so many unknowns as that what's really going to happen and stuff like that. And I'm afraid that one of those little things that it could ruin the anime. It could upset people also too. Now, some people may come in this anime just because of the fan service and stuff like that. I don't mind. It's not really like your ecchi anime that you see every day, and stuff like that. And I definitely do understand that some people that probably will want to like this anime because other fan service is in the anime. So yeah. But yeah, anyway, so that's it for my anime review. Tell me what you guys think. I don't know if you guys may agree with me or not, so I really don't know. I don't know if this anime is based on a manga or a light novel. I'm assuming it's probably based on a light novel. So yeah. But yeah, it was awesome, guys. There. Take care. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe. Please consider subscribing. Please hit like and give me a thumbs up. And please hit the notification bell also too, so let me know you guys watch my videos. And please leave your comments below. Anyways, I love you guys. Take care. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care. God bless. Remember just something. I love you guys. Please stay. And remember, stay blessed. Love you guys. Take care.